Hello, I am Dr. RJ, Monster Veterinarian, and I am here to answer your questions about your monster, cryptid, or kaiju. Today I have a letter from Frank and Claire Stanley in New Orleans, and their question is, we got our son a vampire for his 11th birthday, since he just lost his last baby tooth. Very clever and very symbolic. However, he has been disappointed with his gift. Oh dear. He expected his vampire to turn into a bat, hypnotize pretty girls, that's the fun part, and bite the bullies at school. However, when our vampire arrived via Amazon Monster Delivery, he turned out to be a slim young vampire who spends his time brooding. And he complains about how bad we smell. One of those. When my son takes him to school, instead of being intimidating, he just sparkles. The girls like him, but the boys just laugh, and our son is humiliated. What can we do to change this embarrassing excuse for a vampire into something fit for a boy? Thank you, Frank and Claire. Well, Frank and Claire, this is a common mistake when you don't do your proper research before bringing a monster home to your son. You see, there are all kinds of vampires. There are Hungarian Bellas, which have very exotic accents and look great in tuxedos. And then there are French Lestats, who play in rock bands and talk about philosophy. And then there are California Wheatons, who like kickboxing and sarcasm. There's all kinds. Now, what you've got there is a Pacific Northwest Twilight. And they have great hair, and the young girls love them, but really nobody else does. So I think what you need to do for your son is try to make your Pacific Northwest Twilight look more like a German Orlok. So what you need to do is shave all that nice hair off, get some white paint, and cover him up with it till he looks ghoulish. And that will stop him from sparkling, by the way, that embarrassing sparkling. Then you get some teeth enhancements. You get these rat-like fangs that make him look kind of icky and scary. And then after that, you put garlic in his food, which makes him very sour and makes him look kind of nasty and mean. And also change his wardrobe. Get rid of that cool, stylish, trendy gothic wardrobe and give him something more retro and kind of spooky looking that'll help the overall effect much better. So that should do it. That should change the whole appearance of your Pacific Northwest Twilight into what a real vampire should look like. So I hope that helps, Frank and Claire. Now, I have another question here. This one is from Eloise Larkin in Mariposa, California. And Eloise asks, my little brother Danny brought home a giant last year. Apparently his friends grew the world's biggest beanstalk at the science fair, and a giant ended up following him home. My parents weren't going to let him keep it, understandable, until it jumped up and down and had a tantrum and crushed the Range Rover. Yikes. They didn't dare say no after that. No, I bet they didn't. Now he's living in our garage where the Range Rover used to be. Might as well utilize the space, right? Or at least halfway in, his legs stick out. Yeah, that would happen. And he has some very annoying habits. You know how cats will bring home dead birds? Well, this giant brings dead bears home to our house. Oh, turns out one of the bears wasn't dead, just stunned. It woke up and chased us around our house until we ran into the garage where the giant squished it. We're still cleaning up the mess. Yuck. It then insisted we grind the bear's bones to make its bread. The bread was disgusting. Is there anything we can do to train our giant to be a little more well-behaved? Thank you, Eloise Larkin. Well, Eloise, firstly, sorry about the Range Rover. I hope you have insurance for that. If not, you should talk to your parents about getting upgrading their coverage so that they can be covered for acts of giant. You may need that in the future. As for your giant, you really need to understand giant psychology. You see, when a giant brings home a large predator like a bear or an alligator or, I don't know, a WWE wrestler or something like that, What they're really doing is bringing you a little gift to thank you for letting them live halfway in your garage. You see, giants know that humans aren't good at catching their own massive predators, and they are doing it for you. It's a bit condescending. I mean, when you think about it, the words fee, fi, fo, fum translate in giant language to humans are so dumb. So they're really trying to do you a favor when they bring you home these little gifts, so don't be too harsh on him for bringing home large corpses. Now, what you need to do in this case to stop him from doing that is give him something else to chase, but something that he won't catch. Now, a good option to do in this case would possibly be a roadrunner. They are very fast and very hard to catch. In fact, I know of a coyote who has chased one for decades and has not come near to catching him. They're extremely quick, and it'll keep your giant busy all the time trying to snag this thing, and probably won't be able to do it. So that's something that will keep him out of the house, and you don't have to worry about him stepping on the next Range Rover. So, I hope that helps, Eloise. And, well, that's all for now. That's all I've got for this week. So I have been RJ, Monster Veterinarian, and I was here to answer your questions about your monster, cryptid, or kaiju. I will be back next time with more questions, and until then, have a monster of a good day.